Hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta. Tonight we have In the Walls.
UK edition.
I was hoping you'd say that. So for those of you in the know, or not in the know, creepypasta, go Google it. But essentially it's scary campfire stories that get copied and pasted across the internet. This one was suggested to us by a listener named Diploraptor, and, well, he gave us the name.
His parents hated him, apparently. What? That's a horrible name.
It's just a username.
No, I'm being a jerk.
I know. He gave us the title and and kind of a description of what it was, and I could not find said description to that title. I sent him a message back, and he's trying to find it right now. But I did find in the process the UK edition, as Dr. Leviathan was so nice to put. I don't know. I liked it so far, so we'll get into it. It's definitely better from what I understand of the other In the Walls one that you found.
Yes, because this is actually, when you do your exhaustive searching by typing in the title into Google.
Yeah.
This is actually the second result, and the first one is... Actually, it's not really... The thing is it's not memorable, because now I just don't even remember it. Because this one totally overshadowed it.
Yeah. I think I remember seeing the description and just passing it by because it wasn't the description I was looking for. And then by the second one, I was like, well, this is the only other one I can find.
Oh, right. Now I remember. Yeah. It was...
Do we want to do you have a quick brief of it? Since we're probably not going to do a full thing on the show.
Well, basically, guy moves into a apartment house. I'm not really clear on it. It's a house, but I'm not sure if he's if it's a divided into apartments house. Regardless, guy moves in. Occasionally when he's going, when it's night, there's crashing and banging around the house. Oh no. And then it goes on and it progresses. And then, then one time it kills him or it gets him anyway. And then he's the guy in the house. Or he's in the walls, and he's like, man, someone new moved in, but they can't hear me or see me. Maybe if I thrash around and crash and bang and break shit.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of one of those endless cycle stories.
Yeah, it's actually that what was happening was just another person trying to get the attention of the new resident.
It's like a really brief what Pumpkinhead should have been, but... Because theoretically, every future monster would have been the guy who summoned the previous one. But they just kept going with Lance Henriksen because...
For reasons. Well,
hey man, you got fucking Lance Henriksen in your shit.
Yeah, it's Lance Henriksen, you don't fuck around.
But anywho, that's basically what it is. I mean, that is the briefest rundown.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I did not read this, so I can't really...
Its saving grace was that it was short, but... As I pretty much immediately discovered right after, the UK version was so much better.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess with that, we'll get into the rundown for the UK edition. So this husband/father is...
It's okay to be both.
Yeah.
Just not to the same person.
Yeah. Is recounting why he and his family have left their house.
We said UK version, not Appalachian version.
Oh.
There we go.
Holy shit. Oh, wow, dude. And there goes our Appalachian listeners. The one guy who's out in the mountains in a cabin, just
yours is worse than mine.
Oh, well. All I gotta say is, bring it, Appalachian. Anyway,
apparently someone finally started, I don't know, taking their... I got nothing.
Yeah. So the house was when they moved in. The house was built in the 80s, like most of the houses on the street, but it had never been lived in. But that said, it had never really there was no infestations. There was no people living in it, no homeless person or anything.
It's fine.
Yeah,
but no one's lived in it.
It's just been an empty house, like all the houses on the street, apparently.
And I just find that
I can see I
fucked up.
Yeah, no, I understand. But in the UK, I've heard of things like that. Like that actually is a case. Like a neighborhood goes bankrupt or something like that, and there's no the properties don't get occupied, or somebody buys them and just never lives in them.
Yes, but the other houses all have that where people are living in them.
And this one's just
that
never...
is fucked up for one house in a neighborhood. Like nobody buys it. Like, what did they build, a mansion in the slums? You know, like
it is kind of a weird. Yeah, it is a weird thing. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like that is more common than we think it is. But at least media has told me that. Or media has instructed me that is more...
horror movies will tell you lots of things are common.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this story kind of feels like, is it's very kind of, like... Well, it is very much like a horror movie.
Good, it's a fucking creepypasta.
I know.
It should feel like a horror movie.
I got that tinge of, like, oh, this feels like an 80s, actually, kind of horror movie or something like that, like a ghost movie.
No. The house was made in the 80s, not the pasta.
Okay. Yes, no, okay. Anyway, and so the house was fine at first, though as time went on, a weird feeling of being watched while the man is alone in the house starts creeping in on him, and it's really kind of intense, and he can't get any work done like when he's alone there, so he just starts wandering around his house until his wife gets home, and then he feels a lot better. Then the next day, he goes and drops off the kid and does some stuff around town, and then gets home and finds out that she has the exact same...
No, she
calls him
and just
wants
draws out the conversation
wants to stay on the
for
phone.
No reason.
Yeah.
But we all know the reason.
Yeah. He wants to, she's got the same feeling, and it seems to be that only when they're alone in the house does this feeling really creep up. And what's more is over time he finds the feeling is more powerful and intense in the areas of the house where there's mirrors. So we got that kind of thing. They try to go about their life with very little success. Like, they get a little bit of stuff accomplished over her, but otherwise, the feeling's always there, and they just don't really feel safe in their own home. The son seems fine and oblivious to the feelings, and in fact, he's even he plays and stuff like that, and he's even made up his own imaginary friend, which is a trigger if I've ever known one for get the fuck out. But again, we're stipulating horror movie tropes on this.
But at the same time, for the reader, it's like, oh gee, God. I wonder if that imaginary friend is less than imaginary.
Yeah. The feelings soon intensify, and he starts noticing some movement in the mirrors, like when he's going around the house and stuff. So annoyed
when he's pooping.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah. It was when he got up to take a poop. He saw some movement and stuff. So annoyed more than... At least
we assume it's a poop. He did sit down.
Yeah, that's true. I like how it did go into some detail on that. I was like, I really didn't need all that detail.
It didn't really... No, it didn't go into detail. Because the way you say it makes it sound like there's description of texture, size, and color.
Okay, yeah, no. I don't mean that, but I mean...
Whereas...
There's a lot... There was a fair amount for a bathroom scene.
It says he sits down. That's really the most detail that I got out of that scene, as far as going to the bathroom. We understood why he was there... And I'm pretty sure it's to poop. We know he's there to use the toilet.
He sits down to do it.
And he's sitting down.
Alright, fine.
That's not too much information. That's not great detail.
Fair enough. Maybe my mind unfortunately went it's like, what? No.
Texture, size, and color.
God, why? So, annoyed more than, frightened or anything like that, he calls up a, one of those priests or spiritualists, that comes into a house and, does their feng shui or, the incense burning. And it's this old Chinese woman that comes in.
Japanese. Don't try and tell me they look alike, because this is a story, and that's racially insensitive.
Yes.
Which is my job.
I apologize. Japanese woman. And she goes and investigates the house first, and then puts some incense down.
I love that. She burned some incense while she was doing the wander around.
Yeah.
Not put some incense down. I'll lay that shit down, Holmes.
That's like, okay, whatever. If you want to be grammatically correct of what exactly she did.
An accurate description, maybe. She put it down. That does nothing, but she put it down and then walked away.
Yes.
It's not grammatically accurate, it's descriptively...
That's what I meant, okay? Okay. So he comes back and is telling that she's going to go back around and do another cleansing, when suddenly
she hears something.
Yeah, she freaks out and she looks like she has a stroke, but she's actually just gone rigid because she's heard something what?
Rigid.
Wow, oh my god.
What?
Would you like to continue?
No, that was just...
Alright,
It amused me that you said rigid.
Because she races to a wall because she hears something in the walls. And it sounds like she's having a conversation with something beyond the wall. And then, leaps back from it and, rushes the people out. Just saying, there's a man in the wall. And just, they can't stay here. She's warning them to, get out of the house and stuff like that. And even when the man goes in to grab a chair for her...
and her shoes, because she was in such a rush to leave that she didn't even bother with her shoes.
Yeah. He feels this intense, feeling of, that something else is in the house.
So the same feeling he's been
feeling the whole time. But it's, more intensified or something. But, being cosmopolitan...
This one goes up to 11.
Yeah. But being cosmopolitan folk, they ignore the crazy ramblings of a...
Sorry, just such a perfect oxymoron. Cosmopolitan folk. I'm not making fun of you.
I know.
I found that delightful.
I was trying to come up with a word for it. I was like, folk? It's my word for people.
Yeah. Because you be so cosmopolitan.
Yeah. Wow, this is a silly episode today, guys. Yeah, they ignore the warnings, and it gets weird and darker as it goes on.
They sort of ignore it.
They try to ignore it. They ignore the warning. They don't move
because it'd be a silly reason to move. We had someone in here to cleanse the house, and they told us to move, so we moved. How do you explain that to your friends?
Exactly.
But it's not like they completely, forget about the event.
No. They ignore the warning to leave. So, one of the nights, the wife sees a man in the mirror, in the bathroom, and the husband goes to check and just can't see anything, and then he just kind of breaks down for a little bit, because he finds nothing, what the hell's going on. He just had it with all this bullshit. So more attempts at trying to figure what's going on, but very little success. And then while the wife and the husband are talking, they realize that the son, Daniel, his imaginary friend, has a name that he's been calling it. Wallman.
Which, I love how it takes these people so long to add 2 and 2.
There's so much, that's actually one of the things I have about this story, is that, their reaction time to getting things together is worse than most victims in a horror movie.
It's hey, Mom, it's me and Wallman. Wallman doesn't want to come for a picnic because he can't leave the house.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
legit.
then, boop, 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 boop,
so he doesn't
and
like
then,
to work Dad.
Japanese lady come and cleanse the house because she's some sort of spiritualist person.
It's a thing.
There's a man in your walls.
It's another day goes by. It's I saw somebody in the mirror.
Wait, hold on.
Man, what's going on here?
Hold on.
Wait.
Wallman, Man in the wall. No,
That's
couldn't
silly.
be.
Could it?
Dun, dun. No.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, like she references that like when they were at a picnic or something like that, Wallman couldn't come because he had to stay in the house, and he doesn't like mommy and daddy, only Daniel. So the husband has some freaky dreams like that night or the night before or night after, of like being in the house and like there being like a small like child-sized silhouette in a hallway, and he goes to call out to him, and he realizes and he knows in the dream that it's not his son, it's Wallman or something. And the next morning it's a Saturday or something like that, so they're just relaxing.
Turns out it's just Markleberg.
He's not that short.
I was going with the whole Wahlberg, Wallman.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
It's a lot
they can't all be gems.
Yeah. Gem in the hologram? No. Sorry, I don't know.
I didn't realize we were just going to fucking give up and play word association.
Yeah, I don't know. The next morning, it's a Saturday, so they're relaxing, and the husband goes to make some coffee when he hears Daniel yelling. And he goes checks, and it's in the hallway with one of the mirrors, and he's yelling at the mirror at Wallman.
Yeah, he's
because apparently Wallman wants to take Daniel into the walls and live with him. And so the man takes the son, leaves it with the mother, and just starts cussing and yelling at the walls too.
I really gotta say that I like this kid because he doesn't want to go live in the walls.
Yeah,
like every other horror movie, they're like, "Oh man, I can go live in the walls."
That is so fun. And he's like actually like rooting for his dad when he's like yelling and cursing at the walls like afterward.
Like, go
like,
dad, yeah!
It's like I actually really like this kid.
Call that bastard a bastard! Make that bitch, you bastard!
Yeah, because he's never cursed to his dad in front of the kid before. So now the kid suddenly has a whole new band of vocabulary.
It's like, oh, I know those words. My
Kid's gonna do.
Teacher uses them.
Is this preschool teacher? What's that guy from Hell's Kitchen? Ramsey Campbell or Ramsey? I've lost
Gordon
that.
Ramsay?
Yeah, I've lost that entirely. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's actually the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, gotcha.
Chef Gordon Ramsay is way too fucking busy.
Yeah. So, I just got why you I just got the connection. Like, yeah, because what's that other guy doing right now? What's he been in lately? Anyway,
what?
I'm sorry.
Not what I was saying. I was just saying, Chef Gordon Ramsay. Every time you turn on the TV, he's in like 8 different fucking shows.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah. Anyways, so after that huge like rage upon the mirror and stuff like that, the feeling actually of the creepiness and whatnot kind of just stops for a week. So they actually get a semblance of a normal day life. And then yellow mold starts forming all over the walls in the house, like in spots. So they call up an inspector, like a fumigation guy or something.
A guy to get rid of the mold.
Yeah, and while they're at the parents-in-laws,
his wife's parents.
Yeah, the wife's parents. Thank you. Well, it even mentions it like parents.
I know. I know.
It's like
when it could have been more easily said. Now, like
we went and saw my wife's parents.
Yeah,
like there. Done.
We were staying with my wife's parents for a week.
Yeah.
Bam! I fucking win.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that's a more common term
in the UK.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I'm willing to at least consider that as an option, but yeah.
Yeah. They get a call from, they're there anyway, they get a call from the fumigator dude to come back urgently. So they get back and find that there's cops all over the house. And the cops stop them and it's like, and ask them questions. They're not being charged or anything like that for what's going on, but there's definitely something wrong in the house, and they're
not even
suspected. Up. Yeah, exactly. But like you may want to leave your child and there and like come take a look at this because this is ridiculous.
You won't believe this. Come on.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what they do though. Like not even this is the first time. Like this, like there's like a couple of times where like somebody's just like, oh man, I can't even tell you. You just gotta go see it. Like what? But anyway, yeah, it turns out the mold spots were children's bones and bodies that were kept behind the walls. And they've been dead for decades. It turns out there were 16 in all, and they were all missing kids from like 30, for people, the kids that have gone missing in the area for the last 30 years. Which, okay, I get that, like, this place is abandoned and was built and then was like never made for or never like lived in or whatever. But kids are disappearing. Would you not check the one fucking house that is abandoned?
Well, it's not abandoned. It's just never been lived in.
Yeah, but I mean, still, like, I just like think
it's
that
not
one
like
of those
the houses
60...
are boarded up and it's a creepy old house.
No, I get that, but I just think at one point, one out of
maybe
those 16...
they did.
Maybe,
dude. If the bodies are in the wall, it's not like they're gonna check the place by tearing it apart.
True. All right. Yeah. Okay. It kind of irked me. I was just like, nobody thought to check this house, but yeah, okay. I
no one didn't check the house. They're just saying that they didn't find anything if they did. It's not said one way or the other whether or not they checked. Mm-hmm. It's just saying they didn't see this if they did.
Okay.
It's like if you ate a cheeseburger for breakfast. I don't know that by looking at you because it's inside of you.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
I know. I just really love hammering
things down. Okay.
Is the horse dead? I don't know. Fucking kick it.
They, of course, left and have been left shaken by this whole event. Like, he will take this, like, some of the stuff that he's seen to his grave. Blah, blah. The man is convinced it's some sort of paranormal entity they encountered, though he's never really believed in that kind of stuff before. Now he believes that there's something paranormal. It literally, like, the line was almost word for word the intro to Ghost Adventures. Like, I didn't believe in ghosts until I came face to face with one. I was like, so the mold, but
I have no idea of this reference you're making.
Yeah, my mom loves that show. It's
okay.
So I get stuck watching it every weekend or every
I'm just saying that I don't know it, so sorry.
It's fine.
I thought it was a pretty decent line. I liked
okay.
it. It was good.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, I get it. You're some sort of hunter now, right?
God damn it. So the fumigator does give him a call, like, later to meet, and they meet up, and he, like, oh man, I gotta show you this photo I took of while I was in your house. I didn't tell the cops because they would have thought I was crazy.
Even though I've got photographic evidence.
Yeah, and he shows them this photo they took of one of the mirrors, and there's a face on it, and it's this creepy round face with black eyes and a thin, like, grin. And no nose, no hair.
Did you picture Jack Skellington? Because I pictured Jack Skellington.
I kind of pictured Jack Skellington or like a gray of some kind. I honestly know what I actually thought of? A pie plate. Like, or with like black eyes and like a creepy mouth.
Okay, I actually... Not because at that point, I was totally thinking Jack Skellington, but at other times,
I was like, I
actually totally saw a pie plate.
Yeah, I was just thinking the kid's description. It was like,
God damn it!
But like for some reason, that pie plate is kind of creepy to me.
Well, yeah, because it takes kids into the walls and leaves them there till the mold grows on through the drywall.
Yeah. But yeah, so it get revealed that like there's this creepy supernatural thing in the mirrors. So
no, it's in the walls. The mirrors are just a door into the wall.
Apparently,
I thought we already had doors for that shit.
Yeah. So the husband is now super superstitious, and borderline religiously paranoid of because nothing's happening in his new house. But there's always the threat that it could. So the story ends with a warning from him about evil forces forming in houses that are left alone too long, and ghostly faces in the mirror, and that if you can stand it, just brush your teeth quickly and run away from the mirror. And that's the end of the story. So, okay, finishing it off, I did really enjoy the story, for the creepy atmosphere and the creature, like the entity that they were proposing, was a very interesting, I found it very interesting. Like I liked the creature design they came up with, like this again because of the pie plate imagery I got from it. It felt very much like an 80s horror movie kind of trope. A lot of those kind of things in it. The supernatural stuff was very kind of mundane, or like stuff that you'd see in Ghost Adventures or like those Ghost Hunter TV shows. Or that people claim to have seen in those in those paranormal encounters. So it kind of added a little bit more level of like reality to it, or like that this might happen in the real world, except for the fact that I don't know if it's like different over in the UK, but like the cops seemed really like, all right, you're not involved at all, so don't worry, we're not going to press charges to you. But like they were just like, I just feel like there would be a little bit more like objectiveness toward the family that was living in this house. That 16 kids were found dead in the walls. Like I understand their new home, their new family and so, but there still be a period of questioning. I don't know, but I did enjoy the pasta. Leviathan?
No, I don't. No, I'm not. Yeah, I liked it. I mean, all kidding aside, I mean, this pasta has what so many others don't, and what I really, really just think is kind of a dying art of the whole of the build-up.
Yeah, that's a lot of people on the comments were saying that this had a lot of suspense and build-up to it.
Like, you don't have to open up with, scares and then try and keep, you don't have to set a, breakneck pace at the start and then try and maintain that. You gotta start slow and just kind of smolder and, slowly burn, and then you can, hit us with a payoff. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that, and, the things that I see. But you don't get that so often anymore. You get that a lot in movies,
or in some of the older movies. I think that's why I got that kind of vibe from it, was that it felt like the plot of a John Carpenter horror movie, or like Halloween, or like House on Haunted Hill or something like that. Like
the thing is that that's not,
or The Haunting. Sorry,
it's not the. I don't know. It's just paced well. It's paced properly for what it's trying to do. The feel of it, just it's not overpowering or anything like that, but it's genuinely creepy. I was reading this and I was like, man, I am genuinely not looking forward to the next time I have to walk in the dark hallway, which, since I was reading it in the middle of the night, was, probably when I finished reading it.
Yeah.
Was I terrified? Did I prolong my going to the bathroom because there's a mirror in the toilet? Well, you hear what I mean.
Yeah. Well, technically, it's not what you mean, a mirror in the toilet room.
But it's it made me not look, well, not that I was really looking forward to it, but I was less than looking forward to going to the bathroom
after you reading
it. Well, not after I was reading it. Once I read it, it was pretty much it was gone within seconds. But while I was reading it, I was like, man, I gotta pee. I gotta wait. I'm gonna finish this story first because I prefer to read them in one go as opposed to, a lot of distractions and shit.
Yeah.
And, for it to even do that to me for that long, even, while I'm reading it, that is so uncommon for me these days. Excuse me. I don't know, just horror movies, other horror stories, they're so, more often than not, predictable or just not scary in any way, whereas this one...
I really wasn't sure where this one was going. I kind of thought the kid might end up getting taken, or we'd get a big confrontation, but we didn't get it.
Yeah. You knew there was something in the walls.
Yeah.
Just from, not even from the title, from what was going on. You knew there's something, creepy, supernatural in the walls. But you don't know what it's you don't know what the climax is going to be,
Yeah.
what the big reveal is. You know there's going to be a big reveal, but you don't know what it is.
And we kind of get it post-mortem, like, after, like, they've left the house and stuff like that, and then he gets, like, the contractor, or the fumigator guy shows him the picture, and it's like, and then we get to see it concretely.
See, for me, that wasn't the climax.
Oh, no?
No. Well, for me, the climax was the dead bodies in the house, because...
Well, yeah. That is
like,
a big piece.
I was like, oh, okay, that's the fucking, the thing in the walls did that somehow. I don't know. I don't even know what the thing in the wall is at this point. Like, and you never do.
Yeah, and I like that about this.
Straight up come and tell you. Because for all you know, the house was built by a serial killer, and his spirit infested the house, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but we don't get that. We get it's this one is left open ended, and it's richer for it because you get to come up with like what it was. They give you the
well, I can go with my haunted house theory. You can go with your standby. It's some sort of ancient horror.
Yeah,
like. Because that's where, my mind goes there and your mind goes there.
Yeah. I was honestly thinking it was actually going to go serial killer, like hunting in the walls. But and then that the mirrors were all like actually one-sided glass. But we didn't get that. But then they found the kids and stuff, and we didn't get that. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I actually went like more mundane initially. I didn't go like supernatural until like the very end.
But yeah, that's really the only clue you get as to what went on, is that it is supernatural in some manner. So, literally, my theory is just as valid as yours, because they're both supernatural. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed that. It does, by making it, less specific, it makes it more personal, because you're coming up with it, and... Yeah,
they gave us enough details.
This way, for me, I get to classify it as a nice haunted house story.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because I like those. You get to put it in your general, I don't know how
mythos
you classify it. But yeah, you get to put it where you want to put it, and it lives there, and that's fine. Whereas if I didn't like it, I just, it's some hokum BS bullshit. And then I'd file it away there where I don't like to look anyway.
Fair enough. But you actually got to put this one in the nice folder.
Exactly. In a folder that I'm gonna, go back and revisit from time to time. But yeah, it was a good story, slow burn. I mean, there were a few points where it's like, okay, you've blatantly said it without blatantly saying it, but... You've used something that is so commonly used that you might as well have just come out and said it.
Yeah. Imaginary friends. Don't trust them.
Yeah. Kids in horror stories should just stop having imaginary friends for about 20 years or so.
And then revisit them later.
Just because it's
been so overdone.
Such a fucking overused trope.
Yeah.
Like...
I'd be surprised if somebody had an imaginary friend, and it was just an imaginary friend in a horror movie.
Well, exactly. And honestly, it would make the perfect red herring in a horror movie these days, just because it is so fucking overused. It's used by everyone in every fucking horror movie. Oh, there's kids? I wonder which one's gonna have the imaginary friend.
Yeah. It's such a trope.
However, there was one really good movie that kind of did that.
Oh?
Mama. Super awesome.
I need to actually watch the full thing.
Oh,
I've only seen bits.
I've
heard it's really good.
I don't necessarily want to say it's brilliant, because, I don't know, maybe it's not brilliant, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
So there's my shout out there.
Yeah. The people in this family had very delayed reactions to a lot of stuff. We brought it up during the rundown, but it's just like, man, this house has got some weird vibes.
Yeah, it's
getting
like
really
these
intense
people
when we're staring at the window or the mirror.
And I mean, that also made it kind of believable, because you know what? If I was living in a house where there was supernatural shit going on, I wouldn't be jumping to those conclusions. At least not
initially.
In a practical, like, oh, I should take down the mirrors and actually take them down.
Yeah.
Like, I might be creeped out, but I wouldn't necessarily assume it's a ghost or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because I live in the real world.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
it kind of gave it a little bit grounding.
Yeah, while it was kind of like, really? Are you not aware you're in a horror movie? Oh my god, maybe you're not aware you're in a creepypasta. Okay, maybe you're just a real person. Okay. I don't buy it, but okay.
Well, you see, again, like the way like the person wrote the like the supernatural occurrences or the stuff that was happening, it felt very much like I mentioned, like somebody's account in one of those ghost hunting shows that are so numerous nowadays. Like people say, yeah, we've been staying in this house like for 20 years and dealing with this weird supernatural bullshit and blah blah blah, and just going on and like referencing like. Honestly, I thought like it's. I mean, they're not they're almost tropes in themselves nowadays, with like some of the accounts that people reference. But yeah, it felt kind of to me that kind of felt like there was nothing fantastically outlandish about what was happening in this house.
No,
like outside of the mold suddenly appearing and then like. But that was actually kind of cool because it's almost like the ghost or whatever, the entity or whatever, was holding back that mold until like that point, and then. It left for a little bit and then let the mold seep in, or was the cause of the mold.
Yeah, I didn't really give it that much thought, to be completely honest, because I started to think about like, well, why is the mold showing up now? And I was like, I don't have enough evidence to draw a practical conclusion, so I'm just gonna fucking ignore it.
Fair enough. But yeah, like
because when it's written well, I'm willing to fucking say, you know what, I'm gonna ignore this. Because I just don't have enough knowledge of mold to really fucking come up with it.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that decades of dead bodies are not going to all go moldy at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
To the same degree, so there's clearly something supernatural in there going on with the whole mold thing.
Especially at how fast especially at how fast it just kind of appeared within a week of the ghost being, or the thing being yelled at.
Yeah, I'm also a little confused by this supernatural entity that, can't stand a decent tongue lashing.
Yeah. It's like a freaking dog. It's like...
I did a bad thing.
Those 16 kids? But I got yelled at by this guy's dad.
I got caught.
Exactly. That's kind of what it was. Oh my god. Because the house has never been lived in, right? So like all these kids were just like would probably I don't know. We're adding a little too much depth to this story that I think it needs really, but like I'm picturing now that all those lost kids like had dares to go into the house or something like that, and they got caught by the thing or was lured in like It style. Into the house.
See, yeah, I lean towards the lured in style or method because the other method would draw too much attention to the house.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, when did you last see little Timmy? When they walked into that house. Huh, sounds like the 15 other cases I've worked.
Yeah.
Couldn't be a connection. All right.
Let's wrap it up.
Well, Timmy's never going to be found. He walked into that house. Should we check the house? Nope. Well, why not? Didn't find anything the 15 other times. Did you do anything other than walk around? Nope. Why not?
Sir?
That's someone's property. Oh,
we need to get do you know how much paperwork... do you know how much paperwork goes into getting a warrant? Fuck that shit. Wow. Anyway... Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, the lure makes more sense, like, for an entity that's trying to be inconspicuously killing kids. And again, we don't know what he does to them in there aside from killing them. Like, we don't know how he does it, because all the bones and bodies that were found were just kind of, like, decomposing and stuff, so...
Well, yeah, it's not talked about. There's a
lot of information that's not given,
gory details. Yeah.
But it's not necessary, so it's fine the way it is.
It's not necessary for the story that was being told. Yeah. If you wanted different information than the story's, talking about, yeah, it's missing, but it's just omitted here.
Yeah.
And in some cases, maybe it's just for taste.
Yeah, exactly. Because, again, it's kid death. It's a trope I don't like overly anymore nowadays in creepypastas or horror stories because I've seen it so much, and it's just unpleasant, but... It's a thing. It's a common thing.
Anything that is... I can deal with anything if it's done tastefully.
Yeah, and this one was done tastefully.
Exactly. It wasn't, like, oh, I'm gonna pull so many triggers, it won't be funny.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to pull triggers if you have a good story.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. good story. Go check it out on creepypasta.com. This one's
And if you don't like it, you read the American In the Walls.
So go
you just need to read the other In the Walls.
It's creepypasta.com/walls, not creepypasta.com/in-the-walls. Just make sure it just says walls in the
address bar?
The address bar, yes. Thank you. You can also check out a reading of In the Walls, the UK version, by Natinator77 on YouTube. That's Natenator 77. He does a pretty decent 50-minute read of it.
You know what Nat? He's the Nat. No.
Yeah. And if anybody out there can find, I'll leave a description maybe in the description section of the pasta that we were shown, like told about. So if you guys know of a third In the Walls story, send it to us and at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com, aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. Send us suggestions there. Send us on Twitter. We're both on Twitter at ReviewCultist and at Dr. Leviathan. And just we'll if we ever find that third creepypasta of In the Walls, we'll do it on the show. But this was the best of the two, I guess, that we were able to find. And thanks again to Diploraptor for...
Really? You're just going to take my word on that?
Thanks again to Diploraptor for suggesting this creepypasta, or the title, and then leading us to this one. I guess that's it for the show. So, like I mentioned, the email's there, and we're on Twitter. You can leave a comment section in the comment section below wherever this gets posted, whether it be on Tumblr, Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube. We're on iTunes, so send us a review. And that is our show for the night. So, until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
And I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well. Anyway, so give me a second.
Somebody's got a case of the giggles.